Welcome to GameScope, a podcast all about gaming.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're diving into, well, one of gaming's most genuinely enduring mysteries. It's this bizarre, seemingly impossible glitch in Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah, the TTC upwarp. It's baffled speedrunners for, what, over a decade now?
Exactly. And the theories are just wild.
Right.
Was it a super lucky cosmic ray zapping the console? A faulty N64 just acting up, or something else entirely?
We're going to unpack that whole legend today. Look at the theories, the relentless attempts to make it happen again.
Which mostly failed.
Pretty much entirely.
Yeah.
And we'll dig into why this one act of God in a speedrun still has people kind of scratching their heads.
It's this amazing intersection of gaming, physics, and just sheer unbelievable luck. So buckle up.
It really is an incredible story. You've got this hyper-focused world of speedrunning, right? Where every frame counts, and then boom, the universe just throws this curveball.
Yeah, it forced everyone to question, like, the basic rules of the game they thought they knew inside out. How much control do you really have?
And it pushed the community to explore everything, hardware quirks, software limits, even, fundamental physics. It was a real test case.
Okay, so let's rewind. Where did this all start? The legend begins on a very specific date, September 24, 2014.
Right. Picture the scene. A Super Mario 64 70-star speedrun race. These things are intense, super competitive.
Oh yeah, nail-biting stuff, milliseconds matter. Our main character here is a speedrunner called Dota Teabag. He's racing against another runner, mid-boss.
Standard stuff for the community. Fierce competition, everyone glued to the stream, everything going normally, until it wasn't.
Yeah, about 54 minutes in, Dota Teabag is navigating Tick Tock Clock TTC, which, is already a tricky level that demands precision.
Notoriously frustrating sometimes, yeah. So he's doing what looks like a totally normal move. Mid-jump, collecting red coins, about to land on a platform. Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Nothing at all. And then just instantly, Mario isn't where he should be. He's just launched, catapulted straight up.
And not just a little hop. We're talking extremely high into the air, way past the ceiling right above him, which, crucially, he hadn't even touched.
And he lands on a platform way, way higher up, basically skipping a whole chunk of the level, a difficult chunk, too.
And this is the core of the mystery, right? Because Super Mario 64 has upwarp glitches. They're known. They're studied. Speedrunners sometimes use them.
Exactly. But those known upwarps, they have rules. Specific conditions. Usually Mario has to hit the very edge of a ceiling hitbox.
Right, and often there needs to be a grabbable ceiling right above that edge. The game kind of glitches out and thinks Mario grabbed the higher ceiling, snapping him up. It's quirky, but predictable.
But that's the key here. Dota Teabag was just landing mid-air onto a platform, not near a ceiling edge, no grabbable ceilings anywhere near that spot.
It just didn't fit any known mechanic. It looked, well, as everyone started saying, seemingly impossible. It broke the known rules of the game's physics.
And his reaction on stream, it says it all. Pure shock.
Oh, yeah, you hear it clear as day. What, the invisible wall? What? Please say you got invisible. No, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That confusion, that invisible wall comment, it just shows how physical and totally unexpected it felt. Like he hit something solid that just wasn't there.
It wasn't just luck for him. It was something that defied explanation right in that moment.
So that moment, that reaction, that's the spark. But the fire didn't really catch for a couple of years until August 4, 2015.
Right. That's when the clip gets discovered by, well, a legend in the Mario 64 community.
Yeah.
Pan and Coke, 2012.
Ah, Pan and Coke. If anyone was going to get obsessed with this, it was him. Famous for the A-button challenge, right?
The absolute madman trying to beat the game with the fewest A-button presses possible. Which means he lives and breathes weird glitches and obscure mechanics.
So when he saw this clip, he wasn't just watching a weird moment, he was seeing a potential revolution in Mario 64 strategy.
Exactly. He instantly saw the implications.
Right.
If this wasn't just a one-off fluke, if it could somehow be understood, maybe even replicated,
it would change everything for speedrunning. Mario 64 is so optimized. Finding a new skip like this, a new way to move vertically without the usual setup,
it would massively affect the routes, as they said. Huge time saves possible. Or, for Pan and Coke's specific obsession, maybe a way to save precious A-presses.
So Pan and Coke, being Pan and Coke, dives deep. And he does something pretty dramatic. He puts up a bounty.
$1,000, which, in the glitch hunting world, that's serious cash.
And the conditions were super specific. You couldn't just see it happen again. You had to replicate it in the Malpin 64 emulator.
And provide the input file, the M64 file. That was the key. Proof that it was triggered by specific inputs within the game's logic, not some external weirdness.
Reproducibility, that's the gold standard in speedrunning. You need to prove it wasn't just, your console having a seizure.
Or a cosmic ray, maybe. But yeah, the M64 file would be the smoking gun. It would prove it's part of the game, however hidden. That bounty lit a fire under the community. The hunt was officially on.
And what a hunt. People jumped on it immediately. But figuring it out wasn't easy.
Not at all. The first ideas were, the usual suspects. Maybe a hidden scene between ceiling polygons, a weird landing angle in a specific pixel.
Stuff that sounds plausible within game mechanics. But then, just a day later, August 5th, 2015, this other idea pops up.
The random bit flip. And somehow, this really out there theory quickly became the current leading hypothesis.
Which is kind of wild, right? Jumping straight to cosmic rays and memory errors?
Well, it sounds wild, but the reasoning was strangely compelling. The idea is basically that something altered the game's memory, just one single bit.
Like a 0 flip to a 1 or a 1 to a 0.
Exactly. Specifically in the part of the N64's memory holding Mario's height data. A tiny change, but potentially with massive consequences.
So how did they even test that idea?
Pan and Coke did. He went into an emulator, found the memory address for Mario's height, and manually flipped one bit, the 8th bit of the first height byte.
Okay, getting technical here. So like changing the binary code slightly.
Precisely. In hexadecimal, it was changing C5 to C4, which in binary is just flipping the last digit. 11,1001 of 1, it became 11,1100. Just that one tiny change.
And why would that cause a huge jump?
Because of how the game stores position. It uses floating point numbers. Think numbers with decimal points, like coordinates. Flipping a single bit in a float, especially certain bits, can drastically alter the number it represents.
Oh, okay. So it's not like changing 5 to 4. It's like changing 1.23 to 1230.0 or something.
Exactly. It can have a massive disproportionate effect. And when Pan and Coke flipped that bit,
what happened?
He got an upwarp. Not identical, not a perfect match to Dota Teabags, but visually similar. That sudden, huge vertical leap.
Wow. Okay, so that suddenly makes the bit flip idea seem less crazy. It looks like the glitch.
Right. Even though it wasn't a perfect recreation, the visual similarity was undeniable. It gave the theory legs. Serious legs.
And that's where the cosmic rays come roaring in, right? The most famous part of this whole story.
Yep. This is the connection to single event upsets, or SEUs, which are a real thing, by the way.
So an SEU is... Exactly.
It's literally a particle, usually an ionizing particle, hitting a sensitive bit of electronics like a RAM chip.
Mm-hmm.
And that collision can physically flip a bit from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0.
A quantum collision messing with my Mario game.
Pretty much. These particles, they come from space. Cosmic particles, protons, other high-energy stuff shot out from stars, supernovae, the sun.
Okay.
They hit Earth's atmosphere, collide with atoms up there, and create this shower, a cascade of secondary particles, pions, neutrons, electrons, all sorts of stuff.
Like cosmic rain.
Kind of, yeah. And if one of those secondary particles makes it all the way down to ground level and happens to hit your N64's memory chip in just the right spot.
It can discharge energy, create a tiny current, and flip a bit.
Exactly. It sounds like sci-fi, but SEUs are a documented phenomenon in electronics.
Okay, but wait. If these things are happening, why aren't our computers constantly glitching out?
Well, they do happen. But the odds of one hitting a specific bit, the one bit controlling Mario's height, at the exact moment to cause a beneficial glitch for a speedrunner.
Okay, yeah, that sounds unlikely.
Astronomically small.
Mm-hmm.
That's the term everyone uses. The comparison was like a Minecraft player finding a fully completed end portal naturally. A 1 in a trillion chance.
So even Pan and Coke, the guy who showed the bit flip looks similar, was skeptical.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He called the cosmic ray idea a bit far-fetched himself. His bounty was for a reproducible glitch, something you could trigger with inputs, not just hope for random space radiation.
Yeah. But still, the cosmic ray story is just too good, isn't it? It definitely caught people's imaginations.
It really did. But the actual investigation, the grind, continued. People didn't just accept the cosmic ray theory and move on.
No, the community dug in. Speedrunners, glitch hunters, they spent years trying to crack this.
They were relentless, trying to replicate Dota Teabag's inputs perfectly, frame by frame, in emulators, every joystick movement, every button timing.
Down to the absolute frame,
Yeah.
and the result.
Nothing. Nada. To no avail, as the reports say. They just couldn't make it happen again. It was like chasing a ghost.
But they didn't give up. They built tools, right?
Yeah, the community is incredibly resourceful. In August 2016, this user, Dane, made a program to help with tool-assisted speedruns, Tacing. It lets you overlay video onto the emulator.
So you could perfectly match inputs frame by frame against Dota Teabag's recording.
Exactly. Made that painstaking process way easier, like learning a dance by tracing the steps perfectly.
The dedication is just incredible. They even made a specific Discord channel for it.
Yep, May 2017. Hashtag Upward Poll. Just for this one glitch. A central hub for all the theories, the attempts, the failures.
And someone even talked about tasting the entire run.
Notch Math, yeah. A huge name. He floated the idea in May 2017 doing a full, frame-perfect recreation of Dota Teabag's entire 70-star run, just to see if maybe the upwarp was tied to some cumulative state achieved earlier.
That's insane dedication. Did they do it?
I don't think that full-run recreation ever materialized. The effort involved would be monumental, but it shows the level of commitment. Someone else, Sydney, even synced the audio perfectly to the video just to help analysis.
All this effort, all these tools, and still nothing. The glitch remained a complete one-off.
Which, maybe lends more credence to the idea it wasn't a normal glitch, right? But then a different kind of clue emerged.
Oh, what was that?
February 2018. Dota Teabag himself comments on Panning Kokig's bit flip video. And he drops this seemingly small detail about his setup.
What do you say?
He mentioned that his N64 was kind of finicky. He often had to tilt my cartridge weird ways in order to get the game to start.
Ah, the classic cartridge tilt. We've all been there.
Exactly. He said if it was pushed all the way down, it sometimes wouldn't start. But if you pulled it up just slightly on one side, it worked fine.
Okay, that throws a whole new possibility into the mix, doesn't it? Forget cosmic rays. Maybe it was just a dodgy connection.
Precisely. This became the major counter-hypothesis. Cartridge tilt.
And the community must have jumped all over that.
Oh, big time. Instant debate. On one side, people are like, look, cart tilting is known hardware manipulation. It causes weird stuff. It's usually banned in runs for a reason.
Right, because it's unpredictable. Can cause crashes, graphical errors, wrong warps, total chaos.
But the other side argued, yeah, but lots of old N64s need a slight tilt to work. It's common. And crucially, they pointed out that no known cart tilt glitch had ever looked like this. Meaning, cart tilts usually cause widespread chaos, messed up graphics, sound glitches, crashes. Not this clean, isolated, perfect upward teleportation of Mario with nothing else seemingly affected.
Okay. So the effect of the glitch didn't really match the usual effects of cart tilting.
Exactly. And then you had programmers weighing in saying things like, cart tilt physically cannot flip a specific bit in RAM during gameplay like that. There's no mechanism for it.
Their argument being that tilting messes with the connection, maybe corrupts data being read from the cart, or causes a crash, but doesn't surgically alter RAM that's already loaded and running.
That was the gist. It's more likely to cause a hard fault or broad corruption than a precise, single-bit memory modification mid-game.
So now you've got this debate. Occam's razor time. What's simpler? A known hardware issue, like a dodgy cart slot, even if the effect is weird. Or invisible particles from space.
Tough call, right? Some argued the known hardware fault, even if atypical, is more probable than fabled cosmic rays. Others countered that the result, the isolated bit flip, actually matches the cosmic ray theory better than known cart tilt effects, even if the cause is improbable.
It's like asking if the weird noise is a ghost or just the pipe settling. One is mundane but doesn't quite fit, the other fits perfectly but is, well, a ghost.
A perfect analogy. So the only real way forward was to get hands-on with the actual hardware.
They tested Dota Teabag's N64.
They did. Dane, again, hero of the story, managed to get Dota Teabag to send his original N64 and the Mario 64 cart over. This was June 2018.
Moment of truth time.
Tests were done July 29th, 2018. They ran it, tried to replicate conditions, but Jane reported he couldn't recreate the upwarp on Dota's console.
So not the console itself then, or at least not reliably.
Well, they did some basic tests, these mole tests, checking for known floating point bugs in the N64 processor. Didn't find anything relevant there.
But they admitted more advanced tests were needed, right? Like checking DMA.
Yeah, direct memory access. That's how the cartridge talks directly to RAM. If there was an intermittent connection issue there, maybe during a DMA transfer, maybe that could cause data corruption. It wasn't ruled out, but the initial tests were inconclusive. The hardware didn't confess.
Okay, so the hardware test didn't solve it, but the hardware investigation led somewhere else interesting, didn't it? The ECC memory debate.
Yeah, September 2018. This was crucial. ECC is error-correcting code memory, if the N64 had it.
It would automatically detect and fix single-bit errors, like the ones cosmic rays supposedly cause.
Exactly. If the N64 had ECC, the whole bit flip hypothesis, cosmic ray or otherwise, would be dead in the water. The hardware would just correct the error instantly.
Was there confusion about that?
Initially, yes. Some people thought the N64's processor, the VR4300, had ECC because a related chip, the VR4400, did. They were looking at the wrong manual.
Oops. Classic internet research moment.
Happens to the best of us. But then someone found the actual VR4300 user manual, and it stated very clearly,
What did it say?
VR4300 does not have a parity check function. A parity error exception does not occur. Basically, no built-in error correction for the RAM.
Whoa. So the N64 is vulnerable to single bit flips. It can't fix them itself.
Correct. That was a massive discovery. It meant the bit flip theory was absolutely plausible from a hardware perspective. The N64 could be susceptible.
Okay, so the hardware allows for bit flips, but they still couldn't make the upwarp happen, even with brute force.
Right. They tried that too. Remember Fuzzy 64, the program Dane wrote? It had successfully found the inputs for another rare glitch, making the penguin fall off the slide in Cool Cool Mountains.
So the brute forcer worked for other rare, hard-to-find glitches.
It proved it could work, yeah. It could find those needle-in-a-haystack input sequences. So they pointed Fuzzy 64 at the TTC upwarp. Let it run, crunching through possibilities.
Weird.
September 29, 2018, Pan and Cook confirms. We've also tried brute forcing the TTC upwarp, but that didn't end up reproducing the glitch.
Wow. So even a dedicated brute force search couldn't find an input sequence to trigger it.
Nope. Which just made the TTC upward seem even weirder, even more unique. It wasn't just hard to find, it seemed fundamentally different, maybe not triggerable by inputs alone.
So if the cosmic ray theory still feels like a long shot to the experts, and direct replication, even brute force failed, where does that leave us? Maybe just faulty hardware.
That's definitely a strong contender, especially when you look at other weird stuff that happens with N64s. The community has seen plenty of hardware-induced glitches that show memory corruption, even if they don't look like the upwarp.
Like the cart slap.
Exactly.
Oh.
Agami's famous incident, August 2018. Playing Cool Mountain, falls, gets mad, hits the console.
We've all wanted to do that.
He actually did it. And when he went back into the painting, instead of CCM, he pops out in Big Boo's Haunt. Clear hardware impact causing a major memory mix-up, a wrong warp.
Okay, so physical shock can definitely mess things up, and loose connections.
Yeah. More recently, January 2024, Xandre had an N64 he knew was sensitive, prone to loose cart issues. And suddenly, he gets this very glitchy sky effect. Just the skybox textures totally scrambled.
But the rest of the game was fine.
Yeah. Mario's animation, audio, everything else okay. It fixed itself after going in the castle and came back. Classic signs of a temporary data corruption, likely from a loose connection reading bad texture data.
So these things show hardware can cause memory issues, but they look different. They're messy, graphical, or cause crashes or wrong warps, not the clean TTC upwarp.
Generally, yes. They point towards things like dirty pins or loose connections being a more common cause of general weirdness than a perfectly aimed cosmic ray.
Yeah.
But then there's Duke Doom's case.
Ah, right, May 2020. This one's really interesting. He was getting frequent bit flip-like errors.
Yeah, multiple weird things happening while practicing. Guess where? Tick Tock Clock again.
What kind of things?
A moving bar in TTC suddenly teleported downwards. And it happened twice to him. He also saw repeated graphical glitches with Mario's shadow.
And someone managed to recreate those.
Yes, SM64 expert Quade investigated. He figured out which specific bits needed flipping to cause the bar downwarp and the shadow glitch, and he successfully recreated them in an emulator by manually flipping those bits.
Okay, that's huge. That proves hardware errors can cause specific, repeatable, bit flip-like effects, right? Not just random chaos.
Exactly. It makes a malfunctioning component on the N64, something causing repeated bit flips in certain memory areas, seem much more plausible for Duke Doom's issues than him being repeatedly struck by cosmic rays in the same spot.
So could Doti Bag's upwarp have been something like that? A rare hardware fault causing a specific bit flip, even if they couldn't trigger it years later on his console?
It seems much more plausible than the cosmic ray, doesn't it? A subtle flaw in the RAM, the cache, may be related to heat or power fluctuations. It feels more grounded, even if it's still impossible to prove definitively.
Speaking of power fluctuations, wasn't there talk about electromagnetic interference? EMI.
Yeah, another potential cause for bit flips. Power surges, electrical noise, Someone noted there was construction noise in the background of Dota Teabag's stream during the upwarp.
Suggesting maybe a power grid issue or heavy machinery causing interference?
It was a thought, but then someone tried the highly scientific food processor test.
Oh god, please tell me they ran a blender next to the N64.
Pretty much. High-powered food processor right next to it. Failed to cause any glitches. So maybe not EMI from common appliances anyway. The N64 seems pretty tough.
Okay, so probably not the blender. And we also know not every weird warp is a bit flip, right? Like EN11243's down warp.
Good point. December 2022, Bowser in the Fire Sea. He had this weird down warp. Experts looked at the footage, estimated the drop was about 900 units.
Now, why wasn't that a bit flip?
Because a bit flip in a floating point number should change the value by a power of 2, essentially. Like adding or subtracting 124 or 512 or 2048. 900 doesn't fit that pattern.
Ah, the math doesn't work out. So that warp, whatever it was, likely had a different cause, maybe a game logic bug or some other kind of data corruption.
Exactly. It just shows the world of glitches is complex.
Yeah.
You can't just label every weird teleport a bit flip, let alone a cosmic ray bit flip.
Okay, let's pull back. We have the experts, the speedrunners, the glitch hunters. They're deep in the weeds, debating hardware faults, unable to replicate the glitch, mostly skeptical about cosmic rays.
Right. The people who actually understand the game mechanics and hardware are saying, we don't know for sure, it's complicated, maybe hardware, probably not cosmic rays.
And yet, the cosmic ray theory just completely took over the popular narrative. It became the story. How did that happen?
It's a fascinating kind of textbook example of how misinformation spreads online. A game of digital telephone on a massive scale.
Where did it start getting twisted?
A key moment seems to be September 16th, 2020. An article on the Gamer website. The headline was basically, ionizing particle from space helped Mario speedrunner.
Pretty definitive headline.
Totally. The article flat out claimed the upwarp was caused by a particle, citing Panicook's video, the one where he manually flipped a bit, as 100% confirmation.
But Pancoke himself said it wasn't confirmation. He said it was just visually similar and the cosmic ray idea was far-fetched.
Exactly. The article completely ignored that crucial context, that skepticism from the source himself. It took a, hey, this looks similar, proof of concept, and presented it as case closed, it was cosmic rays.
And that narrative is just stickier, isn't it? More exciting.
Much more exciting and easier to grasp than debates about DMA timing or cache parity. So that flawed article became the seed.
And then it went viral.
Big time.
Yeah.
February 2021, someone tweets an excerpt from the Gamer article. It just explodes. 32,000 likes, over 5,000 retweets. Suddenly, millions of people who aren't deep into speedrunning are seeing this confirmed cosmic ray story.
And once it's got that momentum,
it's game over for Nuance. Other websites, gaming news outlets, pop culture blogs. They just started repeating the story from the Gamer.
without checking the source or Pancoke's actual video description?
Apparently not. They just regurgitated info from the Gamer article, typos included, according to community members, just amplifying the misinformation.
Wow. Okay, so it's spreading through blogs and social media. But then it hit an even bigger platform.
Yeah, the real kicker was August 31st, 2021. Veritasium. Huge educational YouTube channel, usually really well researched.
Oh, I know Veritasium. They do great stuff.
They do. And their video, The Universe is Hostile to Computers, was mostly excellent. But it had a short segment, maybe a minute and a half, on the TTC upwarp.
And let me guess.
It used the Gamer article and Pancoke's video as proof that the upwarp was definitively caused by a cosmic ray.
No, from Veritasium. That's rough.
Yeah, with 20 million views on that video, it just cemented the cosmic ray myth in the public consciousness. It's spread around the internet like a wildfire again.
And that's how we end up with the meme, right? Cosmic rays affecting my Mario 64 speedrun.
That's the one. It became this ubiquitous internet joke based entirely on this misrepresented, unconfirmed theory, which you can imagine is pretty annoying for the actual SM64 community.
Yeah, they're trying to seriously figure this out, and everyone else is just memeing about space particles. They call it the biggest myth in speedrunning history.
It really shows how easily a cool story can overshadow the messy, uncertain reality, especially online. Nuance just gets lost.
It's a shame, really. Okay, so let's shift gears slightly. Hypothetically, if Dota Teabag's run had been a world record because of that upwarp, what would have happened? DQ.
The overwhelming consensus in the speedrunning world is, yeah, almost certainly a disqualification. If a glitch isn't recreatable, it's generally DQ'd.
Because you can't have records based purely on insane luck.
Exactly. As they put it, you can't be the one just because of a 100,000 luck.
Yeah.
Speedrunning is about skill, optimization, and executing known, even if difficult strategies and glitches. Reproducibility is fundamental.
Plus, the whole hardware manipulation angle. Even if the cart tilt wasn't intentional for the glitch, deliberately tilting carts is usually banned anyway, right?
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
Though the situation here was ambiguous. But the core issue is the lack of reproducibility. There's no central governing body, so it depends on community consensus, but
But nobody would likely accept a record based on a complete fluke they couldn't replicate.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Someone joked about an any percent with cosmic rays category, which kind of sums it up. Until a glitch is understood and at least semi-reproducible, you can't validate a run that relies on it, especially if mundane hardware failure is a more likely, if less exciting, explanation.
Makes sense. It preserves the competition. Okay, so stepping outside Mario for a second. These single event upsets, these bit flips,
Yeah.
they happen in the real world too, not just N64s.
Oh, absolutely. Most of the time, like we said, they're minor. A quick glitch, a weird pixel, maybe your phone freezes and you need to restart. That could easily be an SEU you just fix with a reboot.
The classic turn it off and on again might just be resetting a cosmic ray error.
Could be. Often it's just barely noticeable or causes a simple crash. Annoying, but usually harmless.
Usually harmless, but not always.
Not always. In critical systems, the consequences can be terrifyingly serious.
Like the Qantas flight.
Qantas Flight 72, October 2008. A textbook example. An SEU, one-bit flip caused by an ionizing particle, hit a flight control unit.
And what happened?
It corrupted altitude data. The plane's autopilot misinterpreted its position and pitched the nose down sharply, 8.5 degrees down, instantly.
Oh my God. In midair.
Yeah. It dropped over 650 feet in 20 seconds. Threw people around the cabin.
Yeah.
12 serious injuries just from one particle flipping one bit.
That is horrifying. Did they fix that vulnerability?
Yes, that incident led directly to much stricter standards for radiation hardening on avionics chips. They have to shield these critical systems now.
And it wasn't just planes, right? The Belgian election.
Another wild one, 2003. A voting machine recorded an extra 40 on 96 votes for one candidate in one location.
4096. That
Phew.
sounds suspiciously like a power of 2.
Ding, ding, ding. Exactly. 4096 is 2 to the power of 12. A classic sign of a single bit flip in the vote-counting memory. It was obviously an error because it gave the candidate more votes than there were registered voters there.
Imagine if that hadn't been caught. The implications for democracy.
Right. So most SEUs are bad news crashes, errors, potential danger, which makes the Mario upwarp even more ironic.
It's like the one time a bit flip was actually helpful. The universe decided to play wingman for a speedrunner.
Pretty much. A bizarre, statistically improbable moment where cosmic chance actually resulted in something advantageous instead of just breaking things.
And this whole issue might get worse, not better, because chips are getting smaller.
That's the concern, yeah. As transistors shrink, getting packed tighter and tighter on chips, the actual amount of energy needed to flip one of those tiny bits goes down.
Making them potentially more susceptible to stray particles or interference?
That's the theory. The likelihood of data corruption might actually be increasing as our tech gets smaller and denser. So, your phone, your laptop, might be more likely to have a random cosmic encounter in the future.
Great. So my next blue screen of death might literally be stardust.
Yeah, could be. It adds this weird, unpredictable cosmic layer to everything we do digitally. We think these worlds are perfectly controlled, but the universe is constantly bombarding them.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, this whole TTC upwarp saga, what's the takeaway? It's still officially unsolved, right?
Officially unsolved. It stands as this amazing monument to the unpredictable, a glitch that defied explanation, defied replication, and sparked this incredible investigation and a massive internet myth.
It really makes you think about how much randomness, how much pure luck or cosmic interference might be bubbling under the surface of our digital lives, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That random crash, that weird graphical glitch. Maybe it's not just bad code. Maybe it's something weirder. It forces you to question how much control we really have in these digital spaces.
And it makes you wonder, what other impossible gaming moments have happened out there? Those weird things you see once and can never make happen again. Could they have equally strange origins we haven't even considered?
Who knows? Maybe the next time your game does something totally inexplicable, you shouldn't just blame the developers. Maybe look up at the stars.
Huh, maybe so. A fascinating thought to end on. Thanks for listening, and join us next time.